Chiefs at Jags. Jacksonville is +3, so they're 3-point underdogs here. The over/under set at 51 points. This is going to be an interesting game. I
Yeah.
think we had a lot of situations last week where we thought, "Is this game of the week? Is this game of the week?" I
hmm
think one of them we settled on was Eagles or Cowboys Giants. That was definitely
And
not the
that
game
was
of the
awful.
week.
That was awful.
But what we did end up,
We also said Steelers and Niners. We were off last
yeah,
week.
no, we
We
were
were
real
off.
off.
That was awful. That game sucked.
We were really
We were
off.
right about the
So
Bengals. We were right about the
yes,
Bengals.
yes, the Bengals started off slow, and we're going to get to them in two games following this one. But Chiefs at Jacksonville, like I said, Jags are the underdogs. They're getting 3 points. Um, I think this game's interesting. I think
Yeah.
this game is for sure game of the week.
hmm
Uh, let's see if we can hit this
We'll
time.
see. Now that we said that, the Chiefs are probably going to blow them out like 50-3. So,
Yeah, well, so it's interesting because now Chris Jones has
hmm
come come back finally out of his
yep.
holdout from the I think he lost around $3 million, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, give or take, in that holdout. And then he didn't even get what he wanted. He
No.
wanted, guaranteed deal,
Nope.
guaranteed
And you only got
years.
the 1 year as well.
Exactly, with incentives. He's most likely out of the door following the season. So it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes. But he's back for this game, first game of the season for him, and so is it for Travis Kelsey, who was suffered a leg injury in the beginning of the season, right around at the end of training camp, practicing for that week 1, I believe. So now we're gonna get the new look Chiefs, for lack of
New
a
look
better word,
Chiefs, new look.
and this Jags team that gritted out a win
hmm
against the Colts last week wasn't
hmm
pretty, but
Nope.
they ended up turning it around and getting that win. So, what do you think about this game, Ben? Who do you like?
Yeah, I just like you said, to me it's probably the most intriguing game of week 2, maybe outside of Baltimore and Cincy. I know you said we're going to touch upon that a bit later. But to me, this has major implications on how the Chiefs season is going to go. Even if they lose this week, I'm still taking them to even win that division. I don't think that's in question if they lose. But I think it is important that they get the taste of that loss on last Thursday out of their mouth as soon as possible. And the best way to do that would be by beating a team that most people expect to be in contention for the AFC at the end of the year. Um, but but against my better judgment, I'm going to take Jacksonville in this game. I think that they got a little bit of mojo, as you just said, gritted out that win.
Yep.
I think Jones is going to be rusty. I think that D line looked phenomenal last week against the Lions, but I think that putting him back in there might mess up some of the chemistry that they had. Obviously, he hasn't been playing much football. And Travis Kelsey, I think he'll have a more seamless transition than Chris Jones, obviously, given that he's been with the team the whole offseason. All he really missed was, I mean, in all honesty, about 4 days, including the game. That's all
Hmm.
he really missed. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville to win this game. I think that Jacksonville is special. And I think that the Chiefs are going to deal with some issues here in the first month. I think they start 2-2. I think they lose today, or not today, this week rather, and then win their next two after that. But yeah, I'm not expecting the Chiefs to turn it around right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying here. I actually think it's going to be the opposite. I think Chris Jones under fresh legs is going
hmm
to be a beast right out of the gate. And then I think Travis Kelsey, with quite literally not fresh legs, I think that injury was a little bit worse than they made it seem. But I think after week 1, they made it realize
They really had
we
no
need him
option.
back. And at worst, he's a decoy for some of these plays to draw some attention away from the other receivers on this
hmm
team that struggled mightily in week 1. So what I'm thinking is it's going to be a little bit rougher of a game for Kelsey, whether that's a red zone touchdown being rough for him in his standards. So we'll see what happens. I agree it's going to be a close game. I think Jags +3 is a bet that's interesting because I do
Yeah,
think it's going to be a close game. I don't know who exactly I want to take yet. This has been one of the games I've been going back and forth on. Just to differ, I can't see the Chiefs going 0-2 or 0 for 2. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say the Chiefs are gonna win, but I think Jags might cover at 3. It'll be close.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth right there. It's going to be an incredibly close game. The only thing that I could see blowing one team blowing the other one out is if one of the quarterbacks throws a bad pick in a bad spot. And if
Yeah,
one quarterback were to do it in this game, it would be Trevor Lawrence. So, um, yeah, but I don't see that happening. I see the Jags playing clean football. I think people are forgetting in this game that the Jags are implementing some new pieces as well, and Calvin Ridley seemed to be a perfect fit, but I expect that to be even better going forward. So I'm going to
yeah.
stick with the Jags. I'm going to stick with the Jags in this one.
I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a fun watch for everyone. Raiders